Mack the T-Rex tries the potty. Mack was a little T-Rex with big feet, a big tail, and a big smile. But Mack had a big problem. 2 still wore dino diapers. One morning, Mack's mama said, "Mack, you're getting so big. Have you tried the potty yet?" Mack shook his head. "It looks kind of weird. And what if I fall in?" Mama giggled. "You won't fall in. I'll help you." So Mack tiptoed to the potty. He looked at it. He sniffed it. He even gave it a little poke. "It's just a potty," Mama said. "You can do it." Mack sat down and waited, and waited. And then, plip, plop, he did it. Mack's eyes got wide. "I used the potty," Mama cheered. "Great job, Mack." Mama T-Rex came in and gave him a high five. "Next time, just tell me when you feel the potty wiggle in your tummy." From then on, every time Mack felt the wiggle, he rushed to the potty. Sometimes he made it, and sometimes he didn't. But he always tried again. One day, Mama T-Rex said, "Guess what, Mack? No more diapers." Mack grinned. "I'm a big dino now."
Once upon a time in a sunny meadow, a toddler dinosaur named Mack had a shiny red ball. He loved his ball more than anything, and didn't want to share it, not even with his best friends. Esta the gentle deer, Frank the playful raccoon, Abby the cuddly panda, Archie the tall giraffe, and Otto the trumpet-tooting elephant. One afternoon, Mack was bouncing his ball when Otto asked, "Can I try?" Mack shook his little green head. "Nope, it's mine." Otto looked sad, and soon all the friends sat quietly, not playing. Mack noticed the fun was gone. He blinked and waddled over. Maybe we can take turns?" Smiles lit up. One by one, everyone had a go. Otto made it bounce with his trunk. Archie kicked it high, and Frank spun it on his tail. They laughed, cheered, and even made up a new game called Dino Ball. At the end of the day, Mack beamed. Sharing is kind of fun, and from that day on, Mack shared everything, even his favorite snacks.
Combs, Mack, and the Jungle Treasure Hunt. One sunny morning, Mack the dinosaur found a wrinkled old map in a hollow tree. It had squiggly lines, an X at the end, and a note, "Treasure awaits the brave." Mack's eyes sparkled. "Let's find it." His friends Esta, Frank, Abby, Archie, and Otto gathered round, excited. "Adventure time!" shouted Otto, trumpeting joyfully. Together they followed the map past the wiggly vines, under the crooked bridge, and through the tickleweed patch, which made Archie laugh so hard he nearly toppled over. They reached a big boulder shaped like a dino tooth. "The treasure must be here," Mack said, bouncing with excitement. With everyone helping Otto lift in the boulder, Abby dug gently with her paws, and Frank brushed away dirt with his fluffy tail. They found a small wooden chest. Inside were shiny marbles, rainbow stones, and a note. "The real treasure is the friends who came with you." Mack beamed. "Let's share the treasure. One shiny thing for each of us." They all picked a piece, then sat under a tree, giggling and munching snacks from Abby's picnic bag. And Mack whispered, "Best treasure hunt ever." Combs, Mack, and the Jungle Treasure Hunt. One sunny morning, Mack the dinosaur found a wrinkled old map in a hollow tree. It had squiggly lines, an X at the end, and a note, "Treasure awaits the brave." Mack's eyes sparkled. "Let's find it." His friends Esta, Frank, Abby, Archie, and Otto gathered round, excited. "Adventure time!" shouted Otto, trumpeting joyfully. Together they followed the map past the wiggly vines, under the crooked bridge, and through the tickleweed patch, which made Archie laugh so hard he nearly toppled over. They reached a big boulder shaped like a dino tooth. "The treasure must be here," Mack said, bouncing with excitement. With everyone helping Otto lift in the boulder, Abby dug gently with her paws, and Frank brushed away dirt with his fluffy tail. They found a small wooden chest. Inside were shiny marbles, rainbow stones, and a note. "The real treasure is the friends who came with you." Mack beamed. "Let's share the treasure. One shiny thing for each of us." They all picked a piece, then sat under a tree, giggling and munching snacks from Abby's picnic bag. And Mack whispered, "Best treasure hunt ever."
Mack the dinosaur learns opposites. One bright day in Dino Land, Mack the dinosaur stomped through the sand. With his friends all ready to play, they learned about opposites along the way. Big and small, Mack saw a rock big and round, then found a pebble small on the ground. "Big," he roared, standing tall. "Small," said Esta the deer, so sweet and small. Fast and slow, Frank the raccoon zoomed fast through the treetops, while Otto the elephant moved slow with care. "Zoom," said Frank. "You can't catch me." "Slow and steady's just fine with me," said Otto with glee. Up and down Archie the giraffe jumped up with delight, then plopped back down. What a silly sight! Up to the clouds, Mack gave a shout. Down to the ground, they all rolled about. Hot and cold, they touched the sand hot in the sun, then splashed in the stream cold and fun. "Hot," said Mack, lifting his feet. "Cold," said Arthur the angelfish. "This water's neat." Loud and quiet, Abby the panda gave a loud roar. "Roar!" that echoed across the shore. Then Isaac the alligator whispered, "Shh!" be quiet. And all the friends tiptoed, not causing a riot, happy and sad. When Max shared his toy, Abby felt happy, but when she dropped it, she looked a bit sad and sappy. "It's okay," said Mac. "We can fix it, you'll see." And Abby smiled big happy as can be. Day and night. Soon the sun began to drop. "Day is ending," said Frank. "Let's stop." The sky turned dark, the moon shined bright. "Now it's night, sleep tight, good night." Mac yawned big, his tail gave a swing. Learning opposites is a fun thing.
Mack learns math. Mack the little dinosaur loved to build towers with rocks and sticks. One day, while stacking pebbles near the pond, he heard Archie the giraffe counting out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, Archie said as he picked flowers. Mack tilted his head. "What are you doing?" "I'm counting," said Archie. "It helps me keep track. You want to try?" Mack blinked. "I don't know how." "That's okay," Archie said kindly. "We can start small." They sat together and counted Mack's pebbles. 1, 2, 3, Mack grinned. "That's easy." Then Abby the panda joined them. "Want to learn how to add?" she asked. "I have 2 apples and Mack has 1. How many is that?" Mack thought hard. 3? "Yes!" cheered Abby. Mack's tail thumped happily. He spent the rest of the afternoon adding acorns, subtracting pine cones, and drawing number shapes in the dirt. When he got home, Mack told his mama, "Guess what? Numbers are like puzzle pieces, and I'm getting really good at fitting them together." That night, Mack dreamed of counting stars and solving snack problems with math magic. And from then on, whenever he saw numbers, he smiled wide because now he knew what they meant.
Mack and the Bubble Volcano. One breezy morning, Mack the dinosaur was digging in the dirt when, pop! He found something round and shiny. "What's this?" he asked, blinking at the small bottle. "It says vinegar," said Abby the panda, squinting at the label. "And this one says baking soda," added Archie the giraffe. Otto's eyes grew wide. "I saw these in my big brother's science book. You can make a bubble volcano." "A volcano?" Mack's tail twitched with excitement. "Let's try." They found an empty coconut shell, set it on a rock, and added 1 scoop of baking soda, a splash of vinegar. Z! Whoosh! Bubbles exploded everywhere. "It's erupting!" squealed Frank the raccoon. "It's science!" giggled Esta the deer. "Science is when you ask questions," Max said proudly. "Like, what happens if we try more vinegar?" They tried different amounts, watched the fizz grow bigger and smaller, and made notes in the dirt using sticks and leaves. Then Max said, "I thought science was just for grown-ups, but guess what? It's for everyone!" shouted the others. And that day, Mack learned that science is full of surprise, especially the bubbly kind. The end. 10.
Mack and the Math Bridge. One morning in Dino Valley, Mack the dinosaur and his friends came across a big problem. "Oh no," said Esta the deer. "The bridge across the stream is broken. How will we get to the berry bushes?" asked Otto the elephant, peering at the wobbly old planks. "We'll just build a new one," said Mack with a grin. "We can use math." "Math?" asked Frank the raccoon. "Like numbers and stuff?" "Exactly," said Mack. "We'll measure, count, and plan." First, Archie the giraffe used his long neck to look across. The stream is 6 big steps wide. We'll need planks that are 6 steps long. Then, Abby the panda counted. "There are 6 of us. If each of us carries 2 planks, how many planks do we have?" Frank scratched his head. "Let's see. 6 times 2 is 12 planks." "Perfect," said Mack. "Now we need 2 planks for each step across. How many steps can we make with 12 planks?" 12 divided by 2 is 6, said Esta. "So 6 strong steps." They measured and laid the planks carefully, double-checking each part with numbers. Otto used his trunk to place them just right. Finally, Max stepped across the new bridge. "It's sturdy, we did it." Everyone cheered and crossed safely to the other side, where the juiciest berries waited. "Math saved the day," Max said, munching a berry. "And teamwork," added Abby. Mack the dinosaur's safe and silly hike. It was a bright and breezy morning in Brightville, and Mack the dinosaur was bouncing with excitement. "Let's go on a hiking adventure," he roared happily. Soon his friends came running. Esta the deer brought a little map. Arthur the king angelfish popped up from a pond in a bubble. "Can I come too?" Isaac the alligator munched a trail snack while Frank the raccoon grabbed a flashlight, just in case. Abby the panda carried a first aid kit, and Archie the giraffe wore a sun hat. Otto the elephant brought water for everyone. "Let's go, team," Mack cheered. As they started walking, Esta the deer said, "Remember the buddy rule, no one walks alone." So everyone picked a partner. Mack, Esta Abby, Isaac, Archie, Otto Frank, Arthur. The sun started to get warm. Archie wiped his forehead. Otto said, "Drink up, everyone," and passed out little cups of water. Abby gave Mack her extra sun hat. Sun safety, remember? Frank spotted something shiny in the bushes. "I want to check it out," he said, stepping off the path. "Wait," Mack called. "We need to stay on the trail, it's safer." Everyone agreed. Frank found the same shiny thing just a bit ahead, a cool pebble right on the path. Suddenly there was a strange rustling in the trees. "Eek! What is that?" squeaked Arthur. "Let's stop and be quiet," whispered Esta. They listened. It was just a squirrel dropping acorns. Everyone laughed. Isaac tripped on a little root. "Oof, I'm okay," he said. Abby opened her first aid kit and gave him a dinosaur bandage. "Now you're hiking in style," she giggled. At the top of the hill, the friends had a picnic under a shady tree. "Mack," said Otto, "this was the best safe hike ever." "And we all helped each other," said Abby, giving Mack a grape. They sang their hiking safety song. "Hike with a buddy, stay on the track, wear your sun hat and bring a snack. Drink lots of water and go as a team. Safety on a hike is the hiking dream." From that day on, the animals of Brightville always remembered their hiking safety rules and their fun with friends. Mack the dinosaur learns home safety. One rainy day in Brightville, Mack the dinosaur was feeling a little bored. "I wish we could go outside," he sighed, looking at the puddles through the window. Frank the raccoon knocked on the door. "Let's have a fun day inside. We can learn how to be safe at home." "Home safety?" Mack blinked. "That sounds actually kinda cool." Soon the whole crew arrived. Esta, Arthur, Isaac, Abby, Archie, and Otto all gathered in Mack's cozy living room. Mack ran into the kitchen and whoa, he slid on a wet spot near the sink. Isaac quickly placed a towel over it. "Always clean up spills so no one slips," he said. Arthur floated by the stove and pointed. "It's warm over here." Mack reached out to touch it. "Careful," cried Abby the panda. "Stoves can be hot, only grown-ups cook." Mack nodded. "I'll stay back." Frank was poking around the living room and found an outlet. "Ooh, what happens if I put a stick in here?" he asked. "Wait," shouted Otto. "That's not safe. Outlets are for plugs only and only with a parent's help." Esta helped Mack cover the sockets with safety caps. Abby rang a pretend bell. "Fire drill time," she shouted. "Everyone follow the safety plan." They all crawled low like smoke was in the air and walked to the front door. "Who remembers the rule?" asked Abby. "Get outside, stay outside, and call for help," everyone said together. "Knock, knock." Mack ran to open the door, but Archie stopped him. "Wait, always ask an adult before opening the door," Archie reminded him. Mack peeked through the window. "It's just the male raccoon, phew." Later, when it was bedtime, Otto helped Mack check everything. Stove off? Check. Toys picked up? Check. Nightlight on? Check. Doors locked? Check. "Now your house is safe and sleepy," Otto smiled. Mack sang a song. "If it's wet, clean it quick. Hot things burn, so don't poke or pick. Plugs aren't toys, they're not for play. And know your fire drill, just in case one day. Be smart, be safe, in every way. Let's keep our homes safe every day." Mack yawned, snuggled under his blanket and whispered, "I love learning safety, especially with my friends." The end. Mack's birthday surprise. It was a sunny Saturday morning, and Mack woke up with a big yawn and a bigger smile. Today was his birthday. He had no big plans, just a quiet day, or so he thought. Mack got out of bed and noticed something odd. His favorite hoodie was missing, and his dog was wearing a sparkly bow. Confused but amused, he went downstairs. "Surprise!" shouted a chorus of voices as he opened the living room door. There stood his closest friends Esta, Isaac, Frank, Arthur, Archie, Otto, and Abby, surrounded by balloons, streamers, and a banner that read, "Happy Birthday, Mack." "You guys did all this for me?" Mack asked, shocked and touched. "Of course," Esta grinned. "You always plan everything for everyone else. This time, we planned for you." They spent the day playing games in the backyard, sharing silly stories, and eating an enormous homemade cake shaped like a guitar, Mack's favorite instrument. Frank even brought his speakers for a mini dance party, and Abby taught everyone a goofy birthday dance. As the sun began to set, they gathered around a small campfire with marshmallows and mugs of cocoa. Isaac handed Mack a small hand-wrapped box. Inside was a photo album filled with memories, photos, doodles, and notes from their adventures together. Mack's eyes watered as he looked at each page. "This is the best gift ever. You're the best friend ever," Abby replied. Under the stars, Mack felt grateful not just for the cake or the gifts, but for the love that made this birthday unforgettable. Mack learned something new. One sunny morning, Mack the little dinosaur woke up with a question. "What don't I know yet?" He looked at the sky. Do clouds taste like marshmallows? He looked at his tail. Why does it wiggle when I'm happy? Then he ran outside to ask his friends. First, he found Esta the deer building a leaf fort. Want to help? She asked. I've never built one, said Mack. Then it's the perfect time to learn. Esta smiled. Mack stacked leaves, balanced sticks, and crash! Oops! That's okay, giggled Esta. Learning means trying again. Next, Mack found Otto the elephant blowing bubbles with his trunk. I don't know how to make bubbles, Mack said. Otto showed him. Dip, blow, pop. Mack tried. Flop. Dip, blow, pop. He did it. Then Abby the panda taught him how to hop on one foot, and Frank the raccoon showed him how to open a peanut without eating it first. At the end of the day, Mack looked up at the sky again. He didn't know if clouds tasted like marshmallows, but now he knew how to build, blow, hop, and learn, and that made him feel proud. Tomorrow, Mack said, I'll learn even more. The end. Mack and the Wiggly Pirate Treasure. One windy morning, Mack the dinosaur found a bottle bobbing in the pond. Inside was a soggy scroll that read, X marks the spot, the Wiggly treasure awaits. Mack's eyes sparkled. A pirate treasure, let's set sail. Soon, Captain Mack and his trusty pirate crew boarded the Leafy Seagull, a banana-powered boat. First mate Esta, with her paper telescope, Navigator Otto steering with his trunk, Cookie Chef Abby, who only made sandwiches shaped like anchors, Raccoon Frank, who got tangled in the sails, Sky Scout Archie, because he was tall enough to see clouds. They sailed through jellyfish jungle, past the sneezy winds, where Otto sneezed the ship sideways, and dodged a jellybean storm. Frank caught some in his mouth. Finally, they reached Wiggly Island, where everything wiggled. Even the trees danced. There's the X, Mack shouted, pointing to a wiggly rock. They dug and dug until clunk, a treasure chest. But when they opened it, they didn't find gold. Nope. Inside was a squishy, hiccuping sea monster wearing a tutu. Hick! Thank you for rescuing me, it squeaked. I got stuck in me treasure nap. Mack blinked. You're the treasure? Hick! Friendship is the real treasure, the monster said, handing them glittery marshmallows. The crew laughed so hard they all hiccuped too. They danced a wiggly jig with their new friend under the wiggling trees and agreed. Best pirate day ever. The end. Mack and the Bubble Trouble Adventure. It was a sunny afternoon in Brightville, and Mack the dinosaur and his friends were out for a walk. They were exploring the grassy meadow when Frank the raccoon spotted something strange under a bush. Hey, what's this? Frank asked. It's a shiny red button. All the animals gathered around, curious. Should we press it? Abby the panda asked, tilting her head. It might not be safe, said Esta the deer. Let's ask Arthur the king angelfish, Mack said. He knows a lot about buttons and beeping things. Arthur swam up in his little rolling fish tank. He blinked. Arthur inspected the button carefully. It's a bubble launcher, but we should only press it if we're careful. Everyone nodded. Arthur gently pressed the button with his fin. Pop! Whoosh! Suddenly, bubbles shot into the air. Big bubbles, tiny bubbles, 7 square bubbles. Bubble tail! Giggled Isaac the alligator as a bubble clung to him. There's one on my trunk, laughed Otto the elephant. But then, whoo! A giant bubble floated up under Mack and lifted him into the air. Whoo! I didn't sign up for this, Mack shouted, wiggling his legs. Don't worry, said Archie the giraffe. He gently reached up with a leafy stick and popped the bubble. Pop! Mack floated safely down right onto Otto's back with a big bounce. Phew, Mack said, hugging his friends. That was fun, but kinda scary. It's okay to try new things, said Esta, but it's always better to ask for help first. All the friends laughed and played in the leftover bubbles, and from that day on, Mack always remembered. Ask for help and keep adventures safe. The end. Mack and the Flying Banana Rocket. On a totally normal Tuesday, Mack the dinosaur found a giant banana glowing in the bushes. Said Mack. I don't think bananas are supposed to glow. Frank the raccoon sniffed it. It smells like moon cheese. Suddenly, the banana wiggled. Then it grew wheels. Then a button popped out that said, Launch me. Should we press it? Asked Otto the elephant. Definitely, said Abby the panda, already wearing a helmet made of salad bowls. Mack pressed the button. Blast off. The banana turned into a rocket ship with sprinkles on the sides. Hop in, shouted Archie the giraffe, who was somehow already ready to go. Up, 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 they zoomed past flying turtles, through a cotton candy cloud, and into a space full of giggling jelly beans. But then, oh no! The rocket ran out of banana fuel! We're stuck in space, cried Esta the deer. Wait, said Mack. Who has snacks? Everyone checked their bags. Otto had peanut butter cookies. Frank had pickles. And Abby had banana chips. Perfect, Mack shouted. Banana fuel incoming. They stuffed the chips into the fuel pipe. Otto sneezed, and zoom, the rocket blasted back to Earth, crash landing in a giant blueberry pie. Splat, Mack licked his cheek. Pie planet. Everyone agreed. Best weird day ever. The end.